now compared to the 2011 version that would have faced St. Pierre?
I would say that, you know, my chances this time around are substantially better. I've had a year to really work on things in my game, you know, work on skills that I'm going to need to compete with and beat George. So yeah, I would say that you know, I feel like I have a much better chance this time around.
All right, the Nick Diaz fight back in February, just pinpoint execution out of you, offensively, defensively. You frustrated him with your movement, took away his mobility with that army of leg kicks. Was that the most satisfying win of your MMA career to date?
No, I would say that was the most satisfying win. You know, I would like to have finished. I'm always looking to finish. You know, I feel like it showed some evolution in my game. I was able to show some different aspects and show that I'm not just a one-trick pony. You know, I'm able to implement a comprehensive, smart game plan. And you know, hopefully in this fight, I can bring some of that, but you know, a newer, better version of you know, some of those skills.
Is there a lot you can lean on and draw on from that experience, having gone 5 rounds with Nick Diaz, as you get ready for this step up in competition here?
Yeah, I think so. Nick Diaz is known for his endurance. He's known for his pace. You know, I was able to, you know, match that pace, if not exceed it. You know, George is also you know, known for his pace, known for his endurance. So I think that, you know, that's definitely that was a great fight to help me get ready to fight George.
Well, so far,
well, like you said, George is one of the best in the business when it comes to the takedown. His timing is impeccable. You know, I feel that, you know, I have a well-rounded game. You know, I'm going to be comfortable in any position the fight goes. So, you know, with that, I would be able to, you know, just do my thing and not worry so much about the takedowns.
well, as you know, GS.
This isn't my first time in this situation. You know, many times in my career, I've you know, stepped into somebody's backyard. You know, ultimately, it's going to be George and myself in the cage. You know, his fans, his hometown. You know, sorry to say, but they can't go in there with him. So, you know, ultimately, it comes down to who's better prepared, who can implement their game plan, who can impose their will.
Yeah, Dan Hardy might have done better if some of those fans in England could have gotten in the octagon with him, I guess.
Yeah,
all right, UFC President Dana White, a huge believer in the effects of ring rust. Now, following the win over Nick Diaz in February, you chose to wait for the opportunity to face George St. Pierre. What was your thought process in not taking a fight over the summer?
Well, first of all, UFC never offered me or my management any other fight. No other opportunity was brought up. From the beginning, they made it clear that they wanted me to fight George. You know, and also, you know, personally, you know, George is a guy that I've wanted to fight, looked up to in the sport, and you know, basically, you know, wanted that status for a very long time. And you know, George is the best in the world. I want to be the best in the world, so I have to beat George.
Is there an advantage to facing George when he's been out so long, as opposed to sort of being in the routine of regular competition?
You know, possibly. You know, we'll find out on Saturday night. But you know, from all reports, everything that I've heard, you know, George is better than ever, and you know, I'm excited. I want to fight George at the best.
And I think we're.
Well, you know, George's top game is you know, some of the best in the business. You know, I think a lot of the fighters that he's fought in the past are, you know, guys who want to be on top. They're not so much about attacking off the bottom and trying to submit off the bottom. And I think that's where I differ from some of them. Thank you. No, I don't feel disrespected. You know, as a fan, you know, that's an intriguing fight to me too. But you know, first things first, George and I got to get in there and mix it up and see, you know, see what happens. You know, I plan on you know, kind of spoiling those plans. So, you know, I have one singular goal. It's to unify this belt, and you know, everything else is really just I don't know. It's of little significance to me right now. You know, I'm honored to have the chance to compete against George. He is somebody that I've admired as a fighter for a long time. But you know, he's where I want to be. You know, he's the top guy in the sport, top guy in the division. You know, he has cemented a legacy as the you know, the best welterweight in the world, and you know, that's what I want. So, you know, all admiration aside, you know, I'm coming to take that from him. I don't know. You know, George has always kind of been a benchmark, and he's been the top of the sport. It's just been something that I've been continuously working towards. You know, beating the next guy in front of me, beating the next guy in front of me, improving. Honing my skills so that, you know, maybe one day I could fight him. But, you know, initially that was a really far off dream. You know, when George was, you know, fighting these big fights early in his career, I was, you know, starting my career at casinos in the middle of the desert in New Mexico. You know, really low level stuff. And, you know, to go from there to here, you know, it's something that I probably couldn't have even imagined.
And for George?
Well, in my experience, you know, the travel, the hotel, that's all kind of part of the lead up to the fight. That's something I'm used to. Not having that was a little bit odd. And in addition to that, I felt a lot of pressure having my entire hometown, you know, going to be attending the fight. You know, I felt pressure. You know, really, you know, having to be in the headliner of my hometown, having to represent. So that's my experience. You know, I can't speak for George or how he feels, but that's how it was for me.